All right, and we are live. We're just going to get right into it. Usually, I would come in here with a long intro or a long, drawn out, awaited intro. So I'm just going to decide to go right into it, impromptu style, like what I always do, because you know what? You never know what you're going to get out of this channel. You never understand the predictability or the lack of predictability that I'm going to offer in this channel, right? A lot of the content that I do is planned out, right? Oftentimes you see a lot of guys sort of plan out their content or lack of preparation, just going right into it, kind of like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan made the podcasting world famous because he decided, I'm just going to have any random people come up here and then just talk a whole bunch of whatever, right? If we're going to have an MMA fighter, maybe we're not going to talk about MMA. If we're going to have a scientist, maybe we're going to end up talking about MMA instead of science. This is the unpredictability that Joe Rogan sort of taught the podcasting world as a pioneer of such art, right? And that is primarily what we're going to call it. We're going to call it art, right? So today, obviously, a UFC fighter collapsed, Smotherman. He collapsed, and unfortunately, that fight is off, which I believe is against Ricky Turquoise. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to let the chat talk about that because I know you guys want to talk about all things UFC related. And how about Justin Gaethje straight going at Dana White for the fact that Dana White, well, literally made a hostage out of Justin Gaethje. Think about this. Think about how he turned Justin Gaethje into a literal hostage. Okay? He turned him into a literal hostage based on the fact that when Jose Young of MMA Fighting asked Justin Gaethje and also directing the question towards Dana White, guess what he said? I'm here to talk about fights. I'm not here to talk about anything else. But when they were on media day, it was somehow a bit harder or a bit easier for Justin Gaethje to talk about it. Right in front of Dana White, it was harder for him to talk about it. He says, I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm here to talk about fighting. And he has every right to do so. Everybody on the chat right now, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to get this thing cracking right now, okay? We're going to get it on and cracking right now. So please give me a like, give me a subscribe, because we're going to talk all UFC things related. And by the way, today is also the day that Adam22 is also, he says Nerf gun. I don't understand what you mean by that, but okay, we got some chats coming in right now saying a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I don't know what you mean by that, but on any regard, guys, shout outs to everybody. He says drive and on the phone. How about you watch the show that, by the way, is taking place through a green screen? Everything that you are seeing right now is on a green screen. You understand? This is all a green screen. So when you are saying that that I'm driving while on my phone, I think you're sadly mistaken. I'm in the living room of my house while I'm drinking coffee. And everything you see behind me is a green screen. No, I don't have a sunroof. No, I don't have leather seats in my car. And no, none of that. So I don't know what you're talking about. As far as I'm concerned, my man, you are a certified snitch. And I could literally kick you out of this chat right now. But due to the fact that I'm a strong believer in freedom of speech, I'm going to allow you to say what you want to say through the falsehoods that you've claimed. Because, by the way, in America, whenever you want to try and get somebody in trouble, which is what snitches basically do, that's what snitches do, right, is purposely try to get people in trouble. You better have proof. You can't prove that I am not behind a green screen, so that's what it is. He says, stand up. How about no? How about you don't tell me what to do? How about you don't tell me what to do of whether I'm going to stand, whether I'm going to sit, or whether this and that. He says, America is a continent, not a country. Okay, fair point. So in terms of the laws in the United States, as states in the Constitution, you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that I'm committing a crime, and you can't do that. Let me tell you something, bro. I don't think you understand who you're dealing with, right? I've fought literally 10 speeding tickets in 1 year and beat them all. Now, granted, I would say about maybe a good percentage of them was cops not showing up in traffic court, right? That's a big portion of it, but a lot of it, I've literally done those cases on my own in terms of actually physically going to requests for a discovery request in a police station, asking for body cams and things of that nature. Like, I've really done those things, like the actual handwork that needed to be done in order to fight a traffic case. So this is coming from somebody whose degree, by the way, is not consistent with being a lawyer, right? In fact, that's not, you know, what I went to school for. I actually, you know, graduated with a media journalism degree. So Anthony Sanchez says Fox News, and then Diaz says MM. I don't know exactly what that means, MM. What does MM mean? Are you talking about an organization of some sort? Or I don't know what you meant by that. But anyways, yeah, so Anthony Sanchez says Fox News. All right, man. So we got some Latinos that are up in here, you know, supporting me. Man, that's what's up, man. You know, the Latinos, man, you know, they ride with me up in here, man. I really appreciate the love from, you know, all my Latino listeners. Probably a vast majority of them from California, where I'm at right now. And if you're new to this channel, by the way, I'm based in Sacramento, and I do a lot of content that deals with Sacramento, as well as mixed martial arts and world politics, along with California gang politics. Now, what channel out there can really do that, right? Other than Myron Gaines, right? Which, by the way, is quintessentially sort of in the oppositional side. Like, obviously, the guy is a Homeland Security agent, federal agent. On top of that, he's also a Muslim American, like myself, who's a Muslim American. So it kind of shows you, even if you're a Muslim American guy who's from the streets, or if you are, let's say, a Muslim American like Myron Gaines, who has a very healthy nucleus family behind him that led him to become a federal agent, man, you know, us Muslims right now are winning in the world of the media. Cherry Papa says Allah is great. Boom. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And by the way, happy Friday, Juma Friday prayers to all the Muslims around the world right now. It is also Juma Friday prayers right now. So, yeah, he says, and your kid is in the back seat. Yeah, I'm actually taking my kid to school, doofus. So what is it to you? But on any regard, I don't really gotta justify anything that I do with you, right? You're over here on my chat talking, you know, giving your opinion on my life, and you're a guy that literally doesn't have a profile pic, doesn't have any motion on the internet. Look, let me show you something right here. Let me look at Freeman right here. Okay, let's look at channel activity. Okay, so 13 subscribers, and you've been on YouTube for 18 years. Now, not necessarily meaning that you're a creator on YouTube, right? And the 18 subscribers that you have, probably the majority of them are like your family members or this and that, or just a way for you to communicate with the other trolls in your family to go troll other people that basically are at least trying to do something on YouTube. Now, for you, you got to understand something, right? Anything that you say really doesn't matter to me, because as far as I'm concerned, you're a ghost. Okay? It's really irrelevant for me whether you do great in life or whether you do bad in life. But more than likely, you probably do bad in life. Now, I know the majority of content creators, whenever they have critics online, like yourselves, or trolls online, oftentimes, one of the biggest things that they would say is something to the effect of, you know what, man? You're just a hater. You must really hate your life, or you must really have a bad life. Your life must be really bad. Now, here's the thing, right? I don't know you from a can of paint. That could be a reality for your life, or that might not be. He says, not the voice I expected, LOL. Well, there you go, man. This right here is a reason why I am the most epic mixed martial arts channel in the history of mankind. When you look at me and then you hear my voice, none of these two things match. And guess what? My life and what I've lived through my life story, none of those things match either, because those things, I gotta tell you, has a lot to do with having quite a pretty diverse background that I could monetize into YouTube in some kind of capacity. But on any regard, he says, Zaddy, chill. Okay, so listen, what I'm going to need you guys to do right now, is wait for a couple of minutes, okay? Wait for a couple of minutes, and then I will get right back. So he says, you have a radio voice. Yes. So guys, give me about 5 minutes before I come back, okay? And then you can hear more of this radio voice. Be right back. Wow. All right. So we still got 10 people in here waiting, even after all of that. I want to thank all of you for, yeah, for doing that, man. Okay, so 1820. So I got to mark this down real quick. Let me go mark this down on my plan book right now, just so I can give some timestamps later on, right? So obviously there was the intro. Okay, let's see here. All right, perfect. Okay, so we're back. All right, so let's see here. Hey, bro, I'm in London now. Okay, shout outs to you. Sean Boy says it's so different than Ireland. I'll bet. A lot more cultures and way more busier. I would say, I think you would agree with this, Sean Boy, right? I think you would agree that England is far more. All right, had to refresh the stream one time just to, you know, get that right back on. Let me know if it's right back on again. Let me know if we're right back on again. Let me know if we're right back on again. Let me know if we are right back on again. All right. Okay, let me go test something real quick. All right, guys, how about now? I heard nothing you said. How about now? Am I frozen now, or am I right back on? Let me know. Let me All right, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you guys can hear me. About now. All right, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Is there any volume? Can you guys hear me on the volume? Let me know if there's any volume on here. Okay, volume. Any volume? No? Okay, we're back. Okay, mic check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Nothing's going on with the audio. Dang. What's going on with the audio? Is the audio on? Let me know if the audio is on right now. Is there any audio? No audio? God damn it. Is there any audio? Okay. All right, I think we got the audio going right now. All right, I think we got the audio going. There it is, right? I had to bring out a different tablet to kind of check and see, right, hear myself. But all right, okay, so we're back at it right now. Yeah, so sorry, what I was saying earlier was, yeah, look, London is a lot more racially diverse than that of Dublin, even though Ireland historically is a country that is far more tolerant, I would say, to the diaspora of, let's say, minority causes, right? It is often Ireland that you find in situations of, let's say, pro-Palestinian and anti-Zionism, right? Although Conor McGregor, on the other hand, I think has quite of a different, outlook on that particular matter. And that outlook that Conor McGregor has going on is a little bit more pro-Zionist, right-wing Zionist at that, right? Which a lot of people in the New Age Republican movement right now are sort of seeing this pro-Zionist American movement as sort of like a boomer like situation, right? Where this is sort of something that people back in the days espoused because they were just a bunch of normies that were given, let's say, basic propaganda and basic views of the world through the lens of the Republican Party. But on any regard, that's probably the reason why I'm getting a lot of my, my chat's getting frozen right here is because of the things that we talk about. But nonetheless, all right, so we got all of that, out of the way. We're good and ready to go right now. So we got everything, on and popping and cracking and all of that. So yeah, man. Another drive to Sacramento, guys. On a foggy day, by the way. Very foggy day here in Sacramento. Soup, not soups. Let's see. Let's see. All right, good. Now that I just wanted to wait for a few more people to get in here, all right, let's get it started once again with the conversation of what happened earlier with a fighter collapsing, right? This is part of the game, guys. I think that a lot of people who have never cut weight for wrestling, that have never cut weight for boxing or other combat sports that is predicated on making weight and things of that nature, they're never going to understand this this way of thinking. They're never going to understand it. They will never understand why fighters collapse. Look, I got to be honest with you, right? Is it healthy? Overall, it's not. It's not the healthiest choice to move like that in any kind of capacity, right? Muhammad says hi. Shout outs to Muhammad, man. Let me know what part of the world you are from, brother. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullah barakatuh. Yeah, let me know what part of the world you are from. So, it's unfortunate, but I think they had the right to pull the fight out of the fight card. I think it was the right move to do. I honestly think that it was the right move to do. Because fighter safety first and foremost. That's what you got to have. You got to have fighter safety first. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a sport. Now, speaking of which, he says, I live in America, Kings Drive, Bettenford, Iowa. Wow, okay, Bettenford, Iowa. So we got some Midwest people here. We got some people from England, from Ireland. We got people from all parts of the globe tapping into the channel. I'm really, I'm really happy to see that. I'm really happy to see the representation of the people around the world that are tapped into this channel. So thank you for that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to take you guys to a drive around Sacramento on a beautiful Friday during Juma prayers. So that's what I might do, man. I might just live stream this all the way to, yeah. I'm just going to take you guys with me for a ride. That's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. See, the thing with this channel is this is sort of like half streamer, half podcast, and a little bit of everything. So here it is. We are in downtown Sacramento, 7th Street to be exact. And we're pulling up where the Sacramento Kings play. Right here, see? So it's right here in this area right here. So we're gonna get the park in right now. And I'm gonna take you guys with me to go for a little bit of a swim. Fun times, huh? I'm gonna take you guys to swim, and then I might take you guys to Juma with me right after.
Please press the button and take the parking ticket. Please take the parking ticket. Please enter following the guidance.
Every day, this guy comes into this chat saying a whole bunch of disparaging things just to try and get my attention because he wants to feel better about himself. See, like all this nonsense that you're talking about, this guy's staying off the grid. You want to know why you call yourself staying off the grid? You want to know why that's your screen name? The reason why that's your screen name is because, quite frankly, you really are scared to expose yourself in the surface. Let's just be really honest about that, right? You are scared to show yourself because for whatever reason that you deal with in life, maybe you just have these financial problems going on, maybe nobody likes you in your town, maybe you're a depressed human being, so therefore you come in here every day basically saying the same thing, right? Making comments about my beard, like as if you've never seen anybody with a beard in your life, and then you expect me to somehow pay attention to you. He says, Patriots or Broncos? You know what, Arnell, that's a very good question. I don't really quite follow football, right? I'm assuming that since we are near February right now, we're probably in the playoffs, right? That much I know, right? I'm not really, you know, big on sports, at least mainstream sports. I'm more of an MMA guy. But if you would like to give me more information on the Broncos, I would like to hear that, right? Because, for example, if it's an exciting game that you are, let's say, very compelled into watching, right? Let me know why. What are the stakes behind it, right? Are there any particular players that you are excited to see? Are there any storylines that we could gather from that? And the reason why I'm asking this is because I'm trying to relate combat sports into mainstream fighting sports. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find some kind of correlation. Let me make sure that we are still on here. I'm trying to relate combat. Okay, so we are. Okay, so that's good. We are still in business right now. So, okay, let's lower down the temperature on this one right here. Okay, so yeah, I'm just trying to understand like what is you know, exciting about this game, because I don't follow football, but if you have any information on this particular matter, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear why this game is compelling to you. But on any regard, here's a couple of things I want you guys to understand, okay? I need you guys to understand that fighter pay, that's the other topic that I want to talk about in this particular subject matter at hand, right? So we're going to talk about fighter pay in 40 minutes into the live stream. So let me just bookmark this. I obviously don't have the YouTube studio in front of me right now, so I'm going to basically just write this in my notebook so that I can timestamp it for later on. Okay, fighter pay. That is the next topic that we're going to talk about. Justin Gaethje mentioned fighter pay on media day, right? And then, for whatever reason, he decided that he was not going to talk about it in front of Dana White. He basically said, I'm here to talk about fighting, but we're going to talk about that in 5, 4, 3, 2. So Dana White was asked, along with Justin Gaethje, what did you think about the comments that Justin Gaethje made a day prior on Media Day? Because remember, there's Media Day, and then there's the press conference the next following day. 2 different events, right? But the same thing that you're doing, you're talking to the media on Media Day. The press conference, you're addressing the people, the crowd. In fact, that's the reason why it's free, so that you are enticed to go to the fights if, let's say, these fighters say something compelling or do something compelling that makes you want to go see these fights. So Justin Gaethje says, I've had 14 bonuses throughout my entire UFC career, and none of them has cracked $1 million. Which, once again, goes into the subject of fighter pay. Something that a lot of people love to talk about in the world of MMA for one reason or another. there are some that are adamant in making sure that other fighters are being paid rightfully to what they're owed. And then there are those that say, you know what, let's keep them poor so that we can keep them hungry and we can have the best fighting the best. And by the way, that's also the other topic, subject matter at hand, that is dealing with the Ali Act in the world of professional boxing right now. They want boxing to be a lot like the UFC because they want competitive architecture. They want to keep guys undefeated if they really deserve to be undefeated. So in other words, there's going to be a lot of guys that are not going to be undefeated because they're going to let them keep fighting and fighting and fighting until there is one last man standing, right? Whoever that may be, whether that's Hamza Shiraz or whether that's David Benavidez or whether that's Dmitry Bivol or Arthur Beterbiev. But by the way, they already lost to each other. And they are the two best 175 fighters in the world, and that's the way that it should be. Terrence Crawford actually earned being undefeated. That is what Zuffa Boxing wants to do. But who suffers in the end? It's probably the fighters, because in the era of Mike Tyson, in the era of David Haye, in the era of whatever boxer you can name, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, they all are getting paid way more than the UFC fighters at the level that they're at, which is world championship level, equivalent to those that are within their peers of the opposite sport, okay? They're just not getting paid like that. So in other words, a John Jones and an Usyk don't match or align. And Anthony Joshua and a Tyson Fury doesn't align with the type of pay that John Jones or Alex Pereira gets. So as a result of that, what you get is a huge discrepancy in which you found a lot of fighters like Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva, now Tony Ferguson, the list goes on, Tyron Woodley, of all these fighters that have gone to boxing to look for the bag. Because their laws and their structure are different than that of the UFC, and the UFC in and of itself and MMA in general is different, and as a result of that, you have different variations of choices, or in the world of MMA, lack of choices. And maybe that is what they are trying to do, give you less choices in the world of mixed martial arts. Because it's already had less choices to begin with. Now they want lesser choices for boxers, in which mixed martial artists go to boxing. And yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about this. What did Arnell say? New England Patriots versus Denver Broncos AFC Championship, the winner. Okay, so that is what's at stake. Who goes to the Super Bowl? You know what? That is interesting, right? Because you could say that Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje are the AFC Championship to the Super Bowl. Right now, Ilya Topuria has made it to the Super Bowl, whatever Super Bowl that may be, International Fight Week, or the actual White House card in and of itself. But there's a lot of people that are saying Paddy doesn't deserve this, or maybe he does, but the matchmaking that brought him to Justin Gaethje is undeserving of, whereas with Justin Gaethje, he's deserved it way too many times and has lost his chances as a multiple title contender and also as a former interim champion. So now what? What happens now? They allow Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje to fight tomorrow and determine who is the winner and who's going to go on to the Super Bowl of the 155 division. So that's what you got going on. All right. Uh, we're going to go for a little bit of a swim. Okay? We're going to go for a little bit of a swim, and then, and then we'll head out to Juma prayers. How about that? Wait just a second. Wait just a second, guys, okay? I'm going to change the scenery here. So this is sort of what I do, right? During the week when I, have, multiple different hard training sessions during the week, whether it's like conditioning or it's just various martial arts type of training like bag work or sparring with other guys or rolling with other guys. What I like to do on a Friday is, just go for a swim. Sometimes I'll do a lot of laps. Sometimes I'll just do very few laps. It all really depends on how your body feels. See, look, here's the thing, right? There's a difference between training like a soldier and training like an athlete. Let me explain what I mean by that, right? If you're training like a soldier, right, you're basically training to, go all out in terms of like long, strenuous hours, sometimes with no regard to, to rest, right? But if you're training as an athlete, the difference is that you're sort of training for performance, right? So every little meticulous thing matters in terms of, your rest and recovery. Those things are, all accounted for. So, something to think about. Oops. How you doing, man? How are you? Good, good. All right, Charles. We'll see you on the inside. All right. Well, thanks for that, DV. I'll sort of take that as a compliment, I suppose. Thank you. How you doing, man? All right, we back. We're gonna hop in the water. That's what we're gonna do. Do some a little bit of some water training. All right, I'll be right back. All right, guys, back. Just had to get that quick post-pool shower real quick. All right, there it is. Little pool session in the books. Now heading into the parking lot. Take care, dude. Yeah, I just had to get a quick swim in, you know what I mean? One of them things, you know?
Where you doing the video?
Do you know, you heard of Team Alpha Male?
Where's that at?
It's near Sac State.
Oh, that gym by Saxon? Oh,
Yeah. What's your name? Joshua. Kyrie, man. Good meeting you, man. I didn't know you work here. All right, that's what's up. For sure. Okay, bro.
My friend's brother, he does training at that gym.
Oh, does he? Okay. What was his name? Gozi. Doesn't ring a bell. What does he look like?
I wasn't sure. I'm certain he still works there. Sure. You fight professionally too?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I've seen him around before. There's a lot of people that come in and out of there. You know what I mean? But okay. I've seen that dude before. Okay. Do you play football or? Okay, yeah, you look like a football player.
I play football in America.
Oh, okay, all right, brother. All right, good seeing you, man. Yeah, you as well.
Get the tripod out. Get the tripod out. I need to work out with you one day. It looks good.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, we definitely, man.
Yes, sir.
Take care, y'all. Have a good one. He says the future begins. He says they will be forced to change the weight regulations and a collapse from weight at least. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Look, here's the thing, right? You know, weight cutting has always been, you know, an issue, right? In terms of like, you know, people always, you know, getting hurt doing it. You know, it's just the way that it is. Here, let me show you guys the Sacramento Kings area right here. For sure, yeah. King Louis says it looks good out here. Yup. A bit foggy as well, too, you know? Yeah, see? Look at that. Yeah. I just remembered I'm like at low battery with this. I'm at low battery with this. So, yeah. Yeah, man. I am definitely at low battery with this. So, I got to get to the car straight away. Hopefully, we'll get there in time before the battery runs out. I think we should get out here before the battery runs out. All right, here we go. All right. All right. All right, we'll be out of here soon and out of the parking lot if you'll excuse me for just a second.
Thank you for your visit and have a safe drive.
All right, here we are back downtown Sacramento. This is where the skating rink is right here. See? This is, yeah, the Sacramento skating rink right here. I think they're probably trying to take this one down right here. Hopefully I have enough space to get through this little tight space right here. What is up with all this tight space right here? Okay, what's going on here? All right. Bumble Bear Coffee, huh? Oh. That's quite odd. Live streaming. Sacramento Hornets. Look, that's a Masonic temple right there. See that? That's a Masonic temple right there. See? Just so you guys know. That's the Sheraton Hotel right here in Sacramento. And the Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. All right, man. So just giving you guys a bit of some tour of Sacramento. You know, giving you guys a tour of Sacramento before I head to Juma. I might just bring you guys to Juma with me, but we'll see. We'll see how everything plays out, as we'll play it by the ear, as they say. So, yeah. Okay, guys, be right back. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. right, man. So we're back. Nice little palm tree, little thing to kind of get you guys a little bit excited, huh? So all right, let's get back at it again. Make sure that we got the live stream on and rocking. All right, so we're on and rocking with this one. Let's get to it. So, all right, listen, guys. Here's something you guys got to understand about fighter pay, right? I think a lot of fighters are too entitled, okay? I'm going to tell you why a lot of fighters are too entitled. They believe that because they have a certain set of skills, right? Although there is a lot of inherent danger involved, that's something that we have to really consider. All of these things taken into account, right? Yes, all of these things are true. Here's the thing about it, right? Being a fighter is not as valuable as what you think. It really isn't. There's not a lot of value in being a fighter. We think that it is because we're in the MMA world. And because we are in the MMA world, our whole entire thought apparatus behind it is that this is the end-all be-all. The reality is that it's not the end-all be-all when it comes to other things that are going on in the world, other types of current events, as opposed to, let's say, other sports, right? MMA is not as big as you think that it would be. It really isn't. Because if MMA was that big, well, you know what? It's big because Trump is making it big and Trump has a lot of influence. We give him that. But the reality is this, right? There's more to it than that. There's more to it than, than the reality of a group of hardcores that like MMA, and therefore we somehow think that everybody else, is behind it as well, right? No, that's not the case. But on any regard, yeah, that's just a couple of things I wanted to kind of address on that particular subject as we head ourselves towards Juma prayers. So that is our point of destination in the current moment of time right now, is we are heading towards Juma prayers. A nice quiet drive in Sacramento. These are really interesting condos that they have here, right? I've never really seen this before. Like, reminds me of like the type of condos they have in Washington, D.C. Wow, and look at this. They're building more properties over here. Sakura. Affordable apartments. Affordable apartments in T Street and 16th. Very interesting. Okay. Siri, directions to V Street Mosque.